and texturized vegetable protein powder, right?
Wow.
And he would mix it with water and then make a burger. And he would make a burger out of a box. And I would go in the room and tell my mom, I'm like, hey, Mom, Uncle Terry made a hamburger out of a box with a mix. She's like, don't bring that back here to me. It's a bug on me. During the show, I had to kill a bug. I'm pretty sure there's somebody out there. Oh, he killed bugs. Yes, I kill bugs. I destroy bugs. Like if there's a spider or something downstairs and the wife calls me, he's like, there's a spider. I go down and shoot it with a gun.
Not every African American can say, I know my last enslaved ancestor, and you're celebrating Juneteenth.
Okay, Madyun Shaheed.
So, back.
Madyun Shaheed, welcome to the show.
Oh, man, it's good to be here. Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. So Madyun Shaheed, like what does that mean? Like, what is Madyun Shaheed?
The obligated one, the martyr. This is all, right there. That went all in. Obligated martyr, and that's my sign.
Do you feel like you lived that name?
Yeah, I think I wouldn't say even past tense. I say I'm living it. I'm living it. Dad set the pace. He was ahead of his time. And I think I'm living it. I think I'm living
Yeah.
it. You know?
Yeah, I had an uncle like that. My Uncle Terry, man. Uncle Terry was way ahead of his time, man. Like you see, all these kids out here, and they're doing the circuit training in the streets and they're running up hills. And he was doing that back then, you know?
Hey,
He was doing that back then, man.
that's good. That's good. Yeah, my pop, same way, man. All this health food, everybody getting to the health kick. Dad was juicing already. I remember him, big juicer, and making all that noise, carrot juice and mixing it all up, cucumber juice. Yeah, he was doing
Yeah.
the organic juicing and all that before his time, man.
Yeah, he was doing all of that as well, man. He was like a vegan, right? And he would make these he called them love burgers, right? So he would make them like falafels and texturized vegetable protein powder, right?
Wow.
And he would mix it with water and then make a burger. And he would make a burger out of a box. And I would go in the room and tell my mom, I was like, hey, Mom, Uncle Terry made a hamburger out of a box with a mix. She's like, don't bring that back here to me. I don't want any of that. But that was my Uncle Terry, man. You know what I'm saying? He was the same way. He was very knowledgeable about African history. He was all about exercise, and health, just everything that you see now. He was already on that.
Yeah, and that makes you think. It's nothing, like I said, it's nothing new, man. It's nothing really new under the sun. I mean, everything has been here. It's just coming back full circle.
Yes, I agree with that. I agree with that. So tell us who you are and what you do.
I'm Madyun Shaheed. I'm a 21-year retired Marine. I'm a native of Atlanta, and I retired 2017. And since then, I've been working, contractor with the VA, and that's my daytime job. I put on my cape. My nighttime job is my business, Hidden Voices, doing first-person portrayals, and then I have a nonprofit that I work with my passion, with a cemetery that we're working on.
Okay, so what do you do with the VA? Like, what do you do specifically?
My skill set, which I started, like say, when I came in the Marine Corps, I thought I'd get away from it, but it's one of those things. You think you're gonna get away from it, then you just fall right back into it because you know it. That's what you've been doing 21 years. I do the travel coordination for all the ones that go out to the different hospitals and work on the electronic records and stuff like that. I do their travel coordination, hook up all their travel and all that good stuff, and make sure they get the right entitlements and stuff.
Right. Yeah, man, the military, man. I was too insecure to do the military. I remember in high school they had ROTC, right? And I couldn't take anybody telling me what to do. I still can't
Right.
take anybody telling me what to do.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of that. At least when you start out, man. When you start out, I mean, I didn't think I was going that route either, man. I came in, I was what they call the grandfather of the platoon, man. I went in a little later, and yeah, 24ish, but I was doing some stuff better than the young cats though. But yeah, I jumped in, excelled pretty good. And it's like any system, man. Once you lock it on, especially if you've been part of a system, and and I was raised in Islam, so the whole discipline thing was locked on already. It's just a matter of the people screaming in your face and stuff. And I had a
Right.
mind, just to do my thing, and initially just to do four, get out. Didn't, but hey, somebody had another plan.
Right, right. Was there military, like, in your family? Did you have, like, uncles and stuff or
Yeah,
brothers?
my brother Muhammad, he was in the Navy. Then he went into the Army, got out of the Navy, went into the Army. So I was like, all right. So I was like, yo, if he can do it, we've always been like that, competitive. And we've always been right there. He do something, I want to do it. Starting that when we were younger. I woke up, he had a lollipop in his hand, taking pictures. I was like, all right, I got to get a lollipop and take pictures.
Oh, of
But
course,
yeah,
man.
brother, my uncle, he was in the Marine Corps. He did Vietnam. I had two cousins in Marines. So yeah, yeah, the military. His cousin in the army. So yeah, a lot of them stepping up doing the military thing.
Yeah. We had some of that, like, I had brothers as well, man, but, what I would do was, like, I had one brother, my brother Rick, he would dress better than everybody else.
Yeah,
So, and in high school, he got, like, best dress, right?
right.
He's, like, the best dress. So I was like, "Man, I need some of those points." So I would wear his clothes, you know, and, I would come to school with his clothes on, and he'd see me like, "Take my shirt off, man. Take my shirt off."
Hey,
I was like, "I'm trying to get best dress for next year." You know what I mean?
hey, he set the pace.
He set the pace. My mom used to dress real nice, and my dad used to dress real nice, had the nice cars and all of that. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, hey
yeah,
man, what am I gonna do? Because when you're a kid, when you're like 15, 13, maybe, they give you like a bag. And in that bag is all your grooming that you need to catch a girl. So you
yeah.
open your bag up and it has like condoms in it, from the clinic, all those condoms that break, right? So you got the clinic condoms in there, you got a brush in there, so you can get some waves and stay soft fro is in the bag,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Some porn tapes, like everything's in there, right?
oh,
These are
that's
the things you're gonna need to know how to do when you
that's
get
some
out
help
here.
for your breath.
Yeah, when you get out here and meet somebody, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
So I didn't have all of that working for me. I didn't have the wardrobe. I didn't have the dimples. I didn't have the hazel eyes. I didn't have any of that stuff. Those guys with the green eyes,
yeah,
in
yeah.
high school. There's the guys with the green eyes. He doesn't even have to know how to talk. As long as he has the green eyes, the girls
And I
like him
do it.
already.
Just look at him. Woo-hoo.
Oh, I want him. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have any of that stuff. So I
Yeah, I
had to
feel
go
you.
in my bag, you know,
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
you
You had to
know.
put in
So
work, man. You had to put in work.
I had to put in the work, but I had to learn how to talk to girls. You know what I'm saying? Um,
I remember all 7 digits.
yeah,
We didn't
man.
have cell phones.
Didn't have any cell phones, man. You're in the wild.
He like, yo, I gotta either call this number tonight or I'm gonna forget.
That's it. That's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like you
yeah.
gotta remember, man.
Oh
You're
yeah.
in the wild, man. And
Oh
and
yeah.
that's what it was like growing up as kids,
Yeah.
is if I don't talk to this girl right now, I'll never see her again.
Yeah. 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 No more I can text her or hit her up in the DM. Oh no, it's your only opportunity. And you went at it.
This is it.
This is it.
Yeah. This is it. And we would go to the mall and catch girls at the mall. So you stand on like the top level and look down and hunting like birds. You say, okay, I want her. And then you go get her.
Hey, you failed. Hey, just hey, try again.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course, of course. You know,
yeah,
it was a hit and miss. But that's the thing though, like you look at today's culture, right? With dating apps, right?
yeah.
Um, I don't even know where to start there, because I've never done it, right? But been around guys, that do it, right? So I hear the stories, and it's like I tell my daughter, I'm like, I would be terrible on a dating app.
Yeah, we had to put in work, man. We had to put in work. It wasn't that easy.
No, man, wasn't easy, but you get to a point where you're used to it. You're used to talking to people. You're used to being social,
Yeah.
and with social media, which is not that social, it's more of a distance.
Yeah, you're right. I ain't think of that. Yeah, social media,
Yeah,
really social is more, antisocial.
it's more antisocial. You know,
Wow.
so so yeah, like I said, I never really had to do anything like that where I'm building a profile and I got to put up a picture and then somebody's got to come and choose me. It's like, come on, man. I don't want to wait for somebody to choose me. I'm just going to go up to you and talk to you. Hey, come here. Let me talk to you for a
Yeah.
second.
Either
Say a
me,
couple of lines.
he
Huh?
gone.
Yeah, man. I
Either,
say a couple of lines from a movie or something. Say like a Tom Cruise line.
hey, but I mean that's originality. It's not like you don't even meet the person. You just reading what about them and stuff. You hadn't really met them. Just see the
Yeah, of
picture.
course. Of course. I'm gonna go ahead and hit you with a podcast question early in the show. Okay. So if you were a female, right, and you gotta pick up a guy, what would you say to the guy? You walk up to him, what do you do?
If I was a female,
If you was a female.
so I got to get into character and think about this guy. uh, ah, see, that's a hard one. If I'm a female, then I'm used to receiving, not giving. So
That is correct.
yeah, I'm used to receiving. I don't know, compliment him on his slight, small compliment. Hey, nice shoes, nice haircut, nice shoes. A compliment him on something. That's usually the back in my younger day.
Yeah.
That's usually the way women do it, so they don't feel like they giving or like the male. They don't want to feel like the male, so because they want to be the receiver, so they just throw something out there. Either you catch it or you don't.
Yeah.
You
Or
know,
smile,
yeah,
a woman,
yeah,
a smile,
yeah,
right?
just that. Whereas we're like, look at me, They're just a simple smile and eye contact. Yeah, but I think that's if I was a female, if I was in that character, being a female and all that.
Yeah. I think that's a great answer, because you'll have stuff like, a female saying, hey, I like the way you smell, what I mean? Or like you said, like, compliment what you have on. That's her way of inviting you into a conversation.
Yeah, yeah. Either you catch it or you don't, and to them it don't even matter. It's like, all right, he missed it. Then they start, something wrong with me, and my hair, my.
So the military, do you find yourself with morning routines now that you follow?
Not so much morning. Well, I guess I do in the morning. It's all throughout the day with me. It's just a routine. It's just a routine. It's just a routine. I'm used to the systematic way of. I don't do. It throws me off now if I don't do something every time. If I don't go down, check that door, turn it a certain way every time. It's just it throws me off. Or I know when I didn't have. I feel like I'm missing something. So the routine part, I think, is more of a systematic thing. You get used to the system, and your system is your thing. Because you've been into a system all you know what, 21 years. I've been in the system, doing a certain thing a certain way, and it doesn't change. I mean, not just what I'm doing, but I mean financially, everything, just the system. It's like clockwork. So when I got out, well, most veterans, when they get out, they feel like, whoa, it's just something different. It's not, they have to develop their own little system in whatever they do, whether it's something simple as sit in a certain way or eat a certain way. We may not even notice it sometimes. I really didn't notice it till you, I didn't think about it until you just mentioned it. Do I have a system? But we get what they call, it's not so much set in our ways, it's just we're part of a system. I mean, certain things got to be done a certain way, you know. I don't like the
Yeah.
garbage full. That kills me. Anybody, anywhere I go, any house, it's just about little stuff like that, man. I did recruiting duty, and you're not on a base or anything, so you can go get a house out in town, out in the city. So I get this apartment in Atlanta, and this is my first time not being on base or whatever. So um, I see cigarette butts all over. I went to the office, yo, y'all got cigarette butts, and they looked at me like I was crazy, like, yo, that's just cigarette butts. But I was so used to seeing pristine grass with nothing on it. I mean, you go on the base, you're living in the barracks or something, they keep it clean. I mean, that's just this is what they do. I mean, just little stuff like that you don't notice until either you get out or you look back and say, man, I was really getting the apartment manager a hard time because of cigarette butts. It's
Right.
just a mind.
No, I can understand that. My grandfather, man, he used to make me make up the bed, and if it had one crease in it, I had to start
Oh,
over.
yeah, yeah. I see. See, I didn't think about that, but yeah, yeah. I tighten it up every morning. Yeah, I didn't think about it. See, it's natural if you don't look at it and think about it. I mean, even my wife, she's retired as well. I mean, it's a certain way it's gonna look, you know, and the way you tighten it up and everything. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
that system way of doing things, man.
No, I can understand that. I can understand that. You studied martial arts or anything like that?
Yeah, I actually, and it's crazy because I ended up going there for a duty station. I took Okinawan karate, Goju. It's called Goju-Ryu. Yeah, I took that at the rec center. It was a free course. We were kind of like the karate class in the hood. You go to tournaments and stuff. We walked in, we were a little more aggressive, so we would get fouls because we're just hitting a little too hard. They want you to just tap. But yeah, I took Goju-Ryu. Sensei, he passed. But yeah, we were a raw class. It wasn't it wasn't anything pretty. It wasn't like the movies. We actually put in work. And it's Okinawan karate. And I later, like I say, later, and this how life comes full circle. I later was stationed there, and I got an opportunity to see some actual stuff that he talked about, stuff that we studied, and just seeing their way of life when you go to Japan. You go to Okinawa, it's not like mainland Japan. Okinawa is like the countryside of Japan. They're not trying to learn English. You go there, they want you to learn Japanese. They only call it Japanese. They call themselves Okinawa. They only call themselves
Right.
Japanese. They say I'm Okinawan. I'm like,
Right.
what? Same island, Japan. No, they're Okinawa. It's a rich culture, man, and I appreciate it. And what I studied was what they call Goju-Ryu. It's hard and soft, and that's the way they live. Block soft, punch hard.
Okay.
Um, So when you're blocking stuff, you're not blocking all hard. Just relax, sit back, and just block it. Just like life, just things happen, just slide it out the way. Now, when you have been aggressive, you punch hard though, but just block real soft. And that was go. That's the difference in Goju and that Taekwondo type stuff.
Wow. No, that's interesting. I can understand that. Is you go after what you want,
Yeah,
right? You hit it hard. When you're after something, when you're trying to get something accomplished, you hit it hard. But that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like in the movies,
Wayne. Who's the guy? The guy with
Yeah,
the
Jim Kelly
Jim
and
Kelly. Yeah, is watching that at the boys' club on the big reel. That was really exciting. That was the counter to Bruce Lee, and that was our Bruce Lee. You're like, yeah, I can do it. That's when everybody started taking karate and stuff. But yeah, that
yeah,
was fun. Yeah, that's about it. That's about it, really.
yeah, Jim Kelly, I think he was about it. He was the only black dude. He had
Yeah,
like this big old afro. His afro was like this big, man.
yeah.
His his afro was like this big, right? They should have made him. They should have made him use it as a weapon.
Hey, Yeah. Jim Kelly. Yeah, I can't think of anybody else. But I mean, you
Jim Kelly was the man.
is you talk about Tybo and all that stuff, but real martial artists. Oh yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
you had Chuck Norris and all those guys, but in
yeah,
terms of like black guys, it was Jim Kelly, because like Shaft had a gun, you know what I mean? So it wasn't Shaft in
yeah.
terms of martial arts.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's how it was, growing up, and that's kind of cool that you got a chance to do that Okinawan martial arts. I think that's pretty cool to be exposed to that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Didn't appreciate it until I went. Like I said, until I went to Okinawa, man. It's a
Yeah.
culture,
Yeah.
whole culture, man, and totally, totally peaceful. Yeah, really. They say it's hard to get used to. When you first get there, you have to, get used to that not being able to just leave and go to Walmart or something like that. You got to go somewhere else. It's called something else. You adjust.
Yeah.
You adjust. You adjust. Just a different language, but you adjust.
So you were talking about you have this thing called hidden voices. What is that?
Hidden voices is it's something I came up with right during the right around COVID. Right around COVID, I like I said, I enjoyed doing first person portrayals. Even in the Marine Corps, I was able to do that at different functions and just portray that World War II Marine. But right around COVID, no one's doing anything. So I had to switch it up and say, hey, I can't do live performances. What's next? Let me try this voiceover thing, and looking at it, I said, okay, there's voice in everything, voice in products, voice in history. There's voice in a lot of different things. If you can bring out the voice of something, that's where the hidden voices came from. If you can bring out the voice of if I can bring out the voice of your product, the voice of your mission, the voice of whatever, I can do it. Whether it be a voiceover, whatever I'm doing, even if we're not doing a voiceover, I'm bringing out the voice of whatever you're doing, speaking for it.
Right.
That's hidden voice.
Okay, now that sounds great. So what are you guys working on right now?
Right now, actually, I'm using it with the cemetery. It's all kind of like I said, coming full circle. Like I said, I did this during COVID, and now I can use that during the cemetery to bring out the history of the cemetery that I'm working with.
Okay. So tell us about that. So what is this cemetery? Walk us through that, please.
Okay, it had to be around 1987. I started doing right before I graduated high school. I had to do 75 hours of just volunteer work, and I was already working real hard, making money, not volunteering. At the fish market. So I said, all right, I'll get something real easy. I'll just go to the library, stock books or whatever. Um, they had started this fifth floor genealogy section, and I heard about it. It was like awesome. So I just, on my breaks, I would just mosey up to the genealogy section, met the director, who I really, really, really thank, and I still keep in touch with him for sparking that in me, because I was just looking at the microfilm, didn't know what I was doing. He just said, hey, you need some help. And he showed me how to do my research, and I found a name that looked like mine in the history books, and that just sparked it. But it wasn't a person that looked like me. And I did more research and found, started digging and digging, and then I found some people that were enslaved by this person. So it opened up a whole history book, and I just started digging. I kept digging and writing stuff down. Didn't have any money, so I'm making copies, a dime, and trying to make as many copies as I can, and just going back into my history. And he's showing me how to use the genealogy section, microfilm, census records, and that's when I had everything right there on paper. But I had never met anybody. I had never known. My family didn't know about some of these relatives. So I took a trip up to Duluth in 1992 and found cousins of mine that my granddad didn't know about because he left around 1930. He left, said he'll never come back because he didn't like the way they treated him. So I met cousins of mine. They just welcomed me in. The oldest, the matriarch of the area, she mentioned, yeah, I knew, yeah, your granddad was my cousin. And then she later passed, and I never got a chance to talk with her, but I made the connection through the census and found that whole area right there in Duluth was part of a plantation. of the enslaver that I read about. So I thought it ended right there. I couldn't find any graves of my grandfather directly. So I thought it ended right there. Fast forward, got stationed in Japan. Was away for a while. No, actually fast forward to 911. I was stationed in Beaufort, so we were working late hours after, the war was starting up. I'm taking breaks, doing my genealogy stuff. I would try to do it every year, even while I was in the Marine Corps. I would try to do it every year, especially around Black History Month. So I was doing my genealogy research, going on bulletin boards then, and I found somebody with the same last name in the same area that I was researching, but they were white. So we got to talking, and they's like, "Yeah, I'm a descendant of that enslaver." And I've been doing research in that area, trying to find my connection. So I'm like, okay, she's just somebody trying to find her connection to the, people her family enslaved. No, fast forward when I got back from Japan, because I hadn't done any research, for 2 years while I was in Japan. I got back with her, connected back with her, and just talked with her. And she said, yeah, you never asked me how exactly am I connected. She said, I'm connected through that enslaver's son. He went bankrupt, and I got those bankrupt papers. He went bankrupt in 1860 after all the slaves had been freed, because his enslaver father put in his will that when he died, make my slaves free or send them to Africa. They sent them all to Africa, except my ancestors. For some reason, they kept them here and put it in his will in another paragraph. They got to stay here. And so now, fast forward, that area, that stay here area, that's where he's buried. And that descendant of the enslaver, I got back, she told me they had been trying to contact her because they thought it was her and descendant or ancestor or whatever. And she said, no, that's the gentleman I've been talking with, Madyun, since 2001. And this was 2015 when I got back from Japan. So I made the connection with the Johns Creek, went by there, and to my surprise, somebody had stolen the headstone. Somebody had stolen the headstone, and everybody knew in the neighborhood who stole it. Took it out, and his excuse was he was trying to save history. But I'm like, dude, you trying to save history from 30 years ago, but you haven't even found the descendants to see if they want. So I had to call the cops and get the cops to listen. Tell them they.
So this guy's caught walking down the street with a headstone, and everybody see him.
No, nobody said anything. He got in his garage, like, look, I got a headstone of a slave. Look, showing it off and stuff. Probably made a coffee table or something out of it. I don't know. I'm talking to him. He's like, yo, I was just trying to protect it so nobody would take it. I'm like, what do you mean? They don't took 100 other headstones. I mean, just leave it out there. I mean, find the family or something, So yeah. So I had to call the cops and just wanted to get on record. So it was on record. I had to call the cops to get the headstone back. He placed it back in the receiver. And that's when I knew then that, hey, God give you a mission, he give you a vision, he gonna give you the provision with it. And I said, yeah, not just about my ancestors, it's about all these other ones out here speaking like, yo, help us. And that's when I said, all right, this is my mission.
Wow.
This is my mission, to bring this to fruition. All these lives that are out here, and going back and forth with the city. Today's like, all right, we'll do GPR, because they said they did GPR before, ground penetrating radar, to look under the ground. But their ground penetrating radar was sticking little probes in the ground. I'm like, yo, you're going to look under the ground. You got to look under the ground. So they ended up hiring a company to come out after we found out they had money in the budget. They had money in the budget, money allocated for it, but they were trying to, yeah. But anyhow, they end up doing GPR, found 177 more bodies. So,
wow.
Yeah. And we feel every one of those bodies those are families, need to be acknowledged. And our vision is to create a gazebo with QR codes that talk about each family, to make that place a memorial. For as long as the city's there, that memorial will be there. And we're trying to get the buy-in to the city that, hey, this would be your jewel. People find out this is here, they're going to come to your city. They're going to eat the food. They're going to spend money. They're going to stay in your hotels to learn about this. You got people that do that kind of stuff. I mean, if people going around looking for Pokemons and stuff, you got people that do that and into that history stuff. I'm one of those guys. I'll stop and read the little history things on the side of the road, the National Register markers or whatever. But that's where we are now. Fast forward now, that's where we are. This is a jewel. I say it's a jewel because it's bigger than me. It's going to be here longer than me. I'm just a tool getting this thing going. and laying the groundwork. And I'll probably never see the real big fruition 50 years from now. They might have a big center, history, and all that. But I think this is this is that calling. This is that calling because the history part I've done, and I just got to duplicate it with everybody else. And so we're doing what's called reverse genealogy. Most people looking for the ancestors. We have the ancestors. We're looking for their descendants. So that's going to be the unique thing about it. We got the names of the ancestors. We just need to find out where, cousin 3 generations down is. And it's possible. With technology, it's possible. And in fact, I found one up in Minnesota. He's like, yo, I've been doing my research. I didn't know it was there. So now it's just a matter of pulling everybody together. And that's why we formed a nonprofit. So when we do pull everybody together, like anything, it takes finances. We can go out there and get grants, ask for money and stuff like that. But that's the vision, man. Like you say, God's been providing provisions, ever since I started, man. So I know through retirement, through losing my son, through all this stuff going on in my life, I could have just said, hey, I'm done with this. But I can't put it down, man. Can't put it down.
It's unbelievable. So you've basically found some plantation land in the middle of a city and you're trying to protect it.
Yep. In the middle of the city with $6 million worth of homes around it, and pools right up against it. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And I'm trying to do it the politically correct way. I mean, we've worked out some arrangements with the city. Like I say, we're working out an arrangement with them to get ownership of it because the city owns it now. They own it. And we worked out an agreement before, but it wasn't as clear. Once we got an attorney or whatever, they said it's not as clear as you want it. Because if it's going to exist 30 years down the road, you're going to be gone. Your descendants will be like, yo, this is a jacked up deal you worked out.
Right. Yeah, you don't want to give up the Coca-Cola recipe for a mule. You don't want the mule,
Exactly. We wanted everything in there. You speak of Coca-Cola, that brings me up again to somebody else that's buried there. One of the other members that own our nonprofit, their ancestor, Herman Ousley, he's the one he was the architect of the church. He's like the keeper of the land as it got through the 20s and 30s into the 60s or whatever. The last burial up there was like 1988. The last person was buried up there in 88. He was the keeper of the land, Herman Ousley. He also worked for the guy that started Coca-Cola, his brother. He worked for his brother. He was like a judge up there. He drove for his brother. So there's a lot of history. It's a whole town, man. It's a whole town, a lot of history. And as well as I do, the church was like the center of everything, bro. That was the school. That was everything right there in the church. Everybody's centered around the church. And that's what we want to make the cemetery, a hub just for learning, not just for learning Black people learning. I mean, we got a partnership with Georgia Gwinnett College. So it's history. It's not just about, this is Black history. No, it's just history that the city can use. I mean, we've had an anthropology class come out there at the cemetery. So there's nothing better than taking a class and you can actually go out there and touch it and feel it. So it's a lot of things on the horizon, and God willing, it's going to come to fruition and be here longer than we are, man. And
absolutely.
That's what we're doing. It's not about me. This is about laying some stake down, a stone down that's not going to be moved. Not going to forever, man.
Yeah, down in South Georgia, my family on my dad's side, they have, access to a plantation that was there. And it has been preserved, like you said, to where people can visit. And that's what you guys are trying to do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy when you look back at history and see all the generational wealth that those years of enslavement we missed out on. We became part of that wealth. Like I say, looking at, that was the saddest thing ever, to read the will of this guy. And the 4th paragraph is nothing but dedicated to him saying, look, these guys can't be freed with all the other ones. Keep them and just give them to my granddaughter. So I'm thinking either they had a skill that he needed, or you're not just gonna give anybody to your granddaughter.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was how they were making money.
Yeah.
is if you could run a factory today and you don't have to pay anybody, right, to do the work for you.
Yeah.
Look at Amazon, right? Amazon's delivering all these packages and stuff. But let's say you didn't have to pay for the labor, right?
Oh, yeah.
Come on, man. They're already rich, right? I mean, like super rich, right? It would be insane.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They'll be going
Free
to
labor.
sign on the moon and say, they'll be have so much money. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Free.
man.
uh,
And it's like, when I looked up my mom's bloodline, it was, again, rice farmers out of Africa, and they were farming rice in Africa, and they specifically wanted those slaves. They said, hey, look, we're trying to do rice because, you look at Florida, the way the water and the marshland is,
Oh, yeah.
you know, uh, you go to my grandma's house, it was like marshland behind her house, you know,
Uh,
and I was like, Grandma, why you live here? Like it's like snakes and but it was, you don't have a choice. It's like, okay,
yeah.
this is what we have, and this is what they were doing with this land before hurricanes came, to blow it away every year. And it's like, okay, it is not worth it. Let's do something else.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. That's history, man. History.
That's an incredible history.
History done
And
died. He just he's moving and moving. What we do with it determines if it's gonna be around. But this is something that we're just gonna keep moving and moving, man. So it's longer than us. It's gonna be here longer than me.
no, of course. I mean, I wish you guys the best on that, right?
Appreciate all the sweat equity you put into it, man, helping us make the story where it's, palatable and it tells a story that people remember because people remember in stories. People don't remember in facts and numbers and
Absolutely.
remember stories. I woke up this morning, I did they remember the stories.
No, absolutely. They say that even like with kids, it's, you remember either something that was tragic, right? Or
Ah,
something that was very exhilarating, right? But every day going to school, your routines and stuff, you may not remember those details, but if
yeah.
something happens at school, you remember that, right?
Yeah, like kissing Julia Hudson on, underneath the playground or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly.
You remember
Exactly.
names, everything to go with it, when you're a little kid.
Exactly. Those are the highlight. Those highlights is what you remember. Um, it's a bug on me during the show. I had to kill a bug. I'm pretty sure there's somebody out there. Oh, he killed bugs. Yes, I kill bugs. I destroy bugs. Like if there's a spider or something downstairs, and the wife calls me, he's like, there's a spider. I go down and shoot it with a gun.
Dude, you gonna have people out there outside your house with big sign. He's a bug killer, bug killer, bug
Bug
killer.
killer. Yeah, I will kill a bug, man. We already eat bugs. It's like vegans are like, you can't eat any animals or man, we eating bugs. There's bugs in that broccoli. There's
Yeah,
insects and everything.
yeah. Oh yeah, you never know. You never know, man.
No, they're there, bro. We need the insects to help us grow the stuff in the first place.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, back in the day, it wasn't nasty to somebody. They walking around eating fruit, bugs, everything.
No,
We don't
absolutely.
like, because we got all this, other stuff.
Yeah, man. It's like when we were having kids, uh we were like vegans, right? And the doctor was like, "You can't drink carrot juice for calcium."
The doc said this one.
Yeah, this is the doctor. He's like, "Hey, you can't. You got to drink some milk. You got to drink some milk, man. What are you doing? There's not enough calcium in that kale and all of this stuff." But that's what we were doing. Like I said, my uncle Terry was leading the way,
Wow.
and I basically became him. It's like I became health conscious like he was,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
started following all of that. Anything you want to say about your organization? I'm gonna give you an opportunity to say that. If you guys have anything coming up, anything you want to promote.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you're in the Johns Creek area, if you're anywhere around Atlanta, I know they got a lot of Juneteenth festivals going on, but we're going to be at the Johns Creek Juneteenth Festival. We're going to have a booth. We're going to have a table. But it's a good time, and they got vendors and everything. But it's a good time to see actually how many African Americans are up there in Johns Creek, and we're going to be promoting the cemetery, promoting cemeteries, and just bringing awareness. Like I said.
And what's the name of your booth and your organization?
It's the Descendants of Macedonia Church and Cemetery of Johns Creek, Georgia. You can pull us up on Facebook. Yeah, Descendants of Macedonia.org is our website. And yeah, we're just trying to spread the word. Trying to spread the word.
No,
Like,
absolutely.
go to our
Well,
Facebook page, check out what we're doing. We'll have a YouTube page coming up soon, and we want to keep everybody posted. Look out for us.